Hello there, welcome back to Invest in You, and thank you for tuning in. And the topic for today will be an actual demo of a Tesla analysis using our technical analysis tool that were discussed in our prior video. So without further ado, let's dive in. So let me get out of here, and we're going to go straight into TradingView.com. And you're going to find a box right here, and you're going to type in TSLA, which is the ticker for Tesla. And so the way we're going to do this, we're going to use candle bars or candlesticks in our analysis. Some people actually use lines, but in my experience, I find candles to be a lot more easier to read. Once we're here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the two indicators that were discussed last time in our prior video. One of them is MACD, which stands for the moving average convergence divergence. I know it sounds a little fancy, but don't worry, we're going to actually walk you through the entire analysis and help you understand what MACD is actually good for. So we're going to go ahead and type in MACD, and we're going to add it into the chart. And then the next one that we mentioned last time are the Bollinger Bands, so we're going to go ahead and include those as well in here. Now, you have the option to analyze the charts using one-day data either 1 day or 1 month. So one-day data is actually good for intraday trading. So that means you come in at a certain hour during the day, let's say 11 o'clock, and you purchase a certain number of stocks from Tesla, and then based on your prediction, based on the study that you made, you believe that the price is going to go up sometime around, let's say, 3:30 p.m. So you go ahead and you purchase a certain number of stocks, you hold them until that 3 p.m. time frame, and you go ahead and you sell it. So that's what a one-day intraday analysis is good for. And in our video, we're actually going to go ahead and analyze the data using 1 month data. And the reason why is because you want to be able to have enough data to do an analysis over time to sort of understand what the trend with the stock is for. Is it something that's going to go upward trending, or is it something that's going to go downward trending, and so on. So we're going to go ahead. Let me just flip it back to the most recent data. So you have MACD in here. So that's the blue line, and then you're going to see the orange line, which is going to be the price or the signal for the market price. Now, MACD is actually set up by default to 1226, as you can see here. It doesn't mean more than just the average between 12 and 26 days. They plot that together, and that's how this chart comes up. So doing a more in-depth analysis, when exactly do you use MACD, right? So MACD helps you identify when exactly to come in to buy or sell. So if you're looking at the trend of MACD as an indicator, you're going to see that during the period of 2015 all the way to February 1st, 2017, we had a downward trending in the price, which basically means that the stock at some point was underpriced based on the market signal, and that basically shows you or evidences that it was a good point in time for you to go in and purchase the stock in order to make a gain out of it, or to hold, whatever the reason is that but it was priced reasonably low compared to what the expectations were, or to what the market was signaling. And then once you see the crossover point right here on February 1st, 2017. So that was basically an indication that showed you that you needed to make a decision at some point, whether you either wanted to continue to hold or whether you want to go ahead and sell or buy. In this case, we had an upward trend, which means the stock actually went overpriced according to what the market signals were. So this would have been definitely a good time frame for you to go ahead and sell if your intentions were to hold the stock for a short-term period. If you decided to go ahead and hold, continue to hold, maybe if you have done sufficient research, maybe there's a reason for you to believe that the stock is going to continue to go up eventually in a couple of more years, and then it might be worthy for you to continue to hold that. So that's basically what MACD does for you. Moving up to the Bollinger Bands. So basically what the Bollinger Bands do is that they give you the price volatility on a stock, and it's based on standard deviation, right? So that basically means how far the price of the stock is from the average price. So the farther you are from the line right here, which is the average price, the higher the volatility, the higher the standard deviation, and so on. And then, so one point to really pay attention to on the Bollinger Bands is when you see the bands getting tightened up, right? That's an indication that something is about to happen, something is about to blow upwards or downwards. So in this case, on February 1st, the price actually skyrocketed all the way upwards, right? And it got to a point where it actually went above what the prediction was. And so what this basically means is that if you're holding a Tesla stock or a couple of Tesla stocks in your portfolio, as long as they're fluctuating in between the band, it means within the normal fluctuations of the volatility, it's going according to what the predictions are, right? But the minute that goes up, that's abnormal. So at this point in time, you have to make a decision, right? Do you want to go ahead and you sell? Which, as you can see here, it was actually a good indication that you could have made an awesome gain out of it, or whether you wanted to continue to hold because maybe there was an indication that led you to believe that the price is going to continue to go up. So for those who sold around this time frame in 2017 in April to June, you could actually benefited positively from the price hike. If you waited all the way to, let's say, this month, February, you're still above average. You could have gotten some gains if you purchased a stock, let's say, somewhere back in 2016. You're still trading at a positive. Once the stock starts going below the average, then it should be a consideration for you to actually enter the market, for you to go in and buy. But sometimes us as investors, we can be highly emotional. So when you see a price of the stock drop, you need to really understand what's going on in the market. This is why fundamental analysis is so important, because you need to understand what's really causing the price drop. Was it a one-time deal and you believe that maybe it's going to skyrocket back up, or is it something that is more of a trend? Maybe, I don't know, let's say in Q1, quarter one, Tesla prices, they typically tend to go down. So that's something for you to be aware. Analyzing a chart in itself, in my opinion, is not sufficient for you to go in and buy unless you're doing intraday trading where you go in and you get out of there quickly. But even when you do intraday trading, you only benefit from intraday trading when you're actually trading a bunch of stocks at the same time. Because if you're trading one or two, the fees that you're going to have to pay from trading might eat up into your profit. So that's something that you really need to consider before you go ahead and do intraday trading. But back to fundamental analysis and technical analysis, they actually go hand in hand. In my opinion, you can actually do well investing in a stock by just doing fundamental analysis, is you don't really care about the price and the moment that you enter, because you believe that the stock is going to continue to go up. Ideally, you will want to do an analysis to buy low and sell high. So if you're not in a rush and you have the time, try to do both combined. But you're definitely good to go if what your choice is just to invest in the long term and you have a well understanding of what the company is about. For those who want to get a little bit more techy, more technical, and want to understand how to do price projections, price forecasting, this is the tool to go. Now there's another one that it's also free of charge, just like TradingView, and that's Finance Yahoo. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to type in finance.yahoo.com and you're going to type in the ticker for Tesla. And it's basically the same thing. So you're going to get the information, the summary, the news that are related to Tesla in itself. And then you're going to come in here and log into the charts. So once you're in the chart, again, Yahoo is actually very interactive, just like it is with TradingView. I was actually playing with this chart the other day so I could get an idea what to cover in today's video. So I automatically added the Bollinger Bands and MACD. But if you are curious and you still want to learn how to do it, you just basically come in here and under indicators and you just type in whatever you want to find. Bollinger is also right here, so you just type it in and voila, you'll get everything in here, nicely done, beautiful picture. And so the beauty of this is that you can actually zoom it in, and Yahoo actually gives you a little more room to play around with. It gives you more options. With TradingView, you're actually limited to a maximum of month trading, although I still think this is pretty good and this is my go-to tool. But if you want to see a longer forecast or a longer period of time over the life of the stock, because you want to understand what's the overall performance since inception or since the stock first went public, so you go ahead and you click on max, and you can see that the stock went live or went public for the first time in 2010, and it shows that it's been going upwards since it first came out. So the first price was in 1994, as you can see all the way to the right. And then as of today, the price is at 333 with a forecast of highest of 402 and lowest of 168. So they actually give you the actual price point projections based on historical and available current data. Now, these projections are not 100% accurate for the future. They are 100% accurate as of today because this is used on currently available data that it's made available to the public. These projections are actually made assuming nothing changes and that everything remains the same. Nothing it's predetermined for tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to have another market crash by the time we go to bed and wake up. So just keep that in mind when you do some type of forecasting. You always want to make a decision based on facts, based on the assumption that everything will remain the same, and you have to assume the risk. Do not rely solely on this tool and hope to make money in the long run overnight. This is why you need to diversify. So that's something that I feel that I needed to throw out there just to make everyone aware. Another tool that I talked about in our last video was Vanguard. So you're gonna go into Vanguard and you're gonna, if you have an account, you're gonna go ahead and log in, of course. And once you do that, let me just go ahead and log in. Once you do that, you're gonna go straight into the search box and you're gonna type in Tesla, TSLA, and you're gonna come in here, you're gonna click again, you're gonna go to another layer down, and you go straight into charts. Now, I have to warn you, the tools that they have here at Vanguard, they're not quite as fancy as the one that they have in TradingView and in Yahoo. And I'm gonna show you. So you actually come into chart options. You can change this into candlesticks, just so you can have greater visibility into the price fluctuations. And you're only limited to the Bollinger Bands in this case. And as you can see, it is not a nice picture, at least not to my standards. Like, I wouldn't really use this to do research, technical forecasting or anything like that. And I'm assuming that the reason why they do this is because they already provide you with analyst report, which is part of the services that they provide. That's why they get to charge a certain amount in fees every time you do a trading. You do not get charged for ETF tradings though, and that's going to be a topic that I'm going to cover in another session. But as of today, Vanguard provides you with actual reports performed by professionals who have a career dedicated to analyzing and living and breathing stock data, right? So you have a report provided here by Argus, where an option where the recommendation is actually to go in and buy, and they have one with a recommendation to sell, because they always want to give you both sides of the coin, so that way you study, you get all of the facts, and then ultimately you make the decision. So as you can see here, we're going to go in, and so you see the fundamental analysis, which is the research part of every single fact that's out there for you to know about the company. They have also done the technical part of it, where they analyze the price and the fluctuations and how they actually rate it. So if you have a larger portfolio, if you can actually afford an account in Vanguard, this will actually save you a lot of time, and you won't have to do all of the nitty-gritty of analyzing the price fluctuations of the charts. But if you feel like getting hands-on, you can still have access to these tools, TradingView and Tesla. And I also mentioned in my last video leveraging Charles Schwab as part of the many technical analysis tool. Although I have to say, this is no different than Vanguard. They do have available tools out there for you to leverage, but since you already have access to the actual reports, I think that's in my opinion a no-brainer. You can actually save yourself a lot of time by just going in and reading work that was performed by people who have a dedicated attention to just analyzing those stocks. So we're gonna go in Tesla again, and here we go. You can actually log in. Same thing, you play around with the charts. You come in here, and you have the options of adding the indicators here, which is something that I did the other day as I was playing around with the tools as well. I don't think, did they have MACD? They do. Let me just make sure. Oh, I actually added it the other day, and it's all the way down here at the bottom. So let me just get rid of this. Go. And so here. But they're not depicted as nicely unless you go ahead and you zoom it in, but you're still somewhat limited to how much you can see in here. Right? So this is line. I'm trying to see if there's a way for me to change this to candlesticks. Oh, here we go. So you can go ahead and change it. Definitely a lot nicer looking than the charts that you will get here in Vanguard. You have a lot more tools, more or less kind of like the same tools that you would get here with Tesla and TradingView as well as Yahoo. The difference is here that with Charles Schwab, you do have to maintain a minimum. I still don't know how much the minimum is for you to start trading here in the account. I just happen to open a checking account with high yield interest with them, and they offer me the option to have a brokerage account, which I obviously took advantage of. But if you don't want to do the technical analysis, if you don't want to go through the numbers, for your sake, you also have the options of getting reports right here. Very similar to Vanguard, you have reports created by professional analysts who have access to all available data, and they took the time and they did the projections, they did the analysis of all kinds of information that's available about Tesla out in the market. So again, one more time, this will definitely save you a lot of time. So just by clicking at one of them, you'll have the investment thesis, the analyst knows what is the rationale for you to go in and buy, what's the rationale for you to go and sell. For those who don't know, Boles refers to someone who's overly optimistic about a stock or the market, and Bears are those who are feeling a little pessimistic. Oh, I don't know, I don't trust this, I don't believe this, and that's basically what it comes down to, right? And here you have like tons and tons of pages for you to go ahead and read, all in a one-stop shop. Now, if you can't afford an account in Vanguard and Tesla, no worries. You still have access to Yahoo Finance, where you can come in and type in anything that you want to know about the stock, and you can actually have access to the news. In fact, let me open up another tab here and then just change this to finance because I wanted to show you something. So let's say there's a price fluctuation that you want to understand and you want to gain visibility into. So let's say within a 1 month period, there is a big fluctuation sometime here, and let's see, just go up a little bit on the screen. So on February 8th this year, there was a major fluctuation going downwards that actually exceeded the intervals of volatility downwards. So you might want to find out what exactly caused this, right? So this is when Yahoo Finance comes into place, and it's actually a very beautiful tool. You can actually type in here Tesla news 2/8/18 and see what comes up. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take a look into this, and perhaps no company in the world polarizes investors, and then you have something about Tesla talking about what happened on that day. So this was published 6 hours ago. You kind of like get the idea. 2/8/18, and you're gonna understand what really happened on that day. So here's, you get access to all of the news. If this hopefully loads faster sooner rather than later.
Back to the future in a red Tesla. The Tesla Roadster is flying high above the earth today. Elon Musk, electric powered.
And there you go. You kind of get the picture. You take a look into this. Something happened in 2/8 that caused the price of Tesla to go all the way down. But then it eventually bounced all the way back up, as you can see here. So I hope you found this helpful. This is it for today in terms of technical analysis. Stay tuned. Next, what we're going to talk about are the different platforms and exchanges that you can actually leverage to start trading. Some of them are free, some of them are based on the number of capital or the amount of capital that you're willing to invest. So please stay tuned and feel free to comment down below on the tools that you plan to use. Which of these 4 different tools, whether it's TradingView, Yahoo, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab, do you plan to use, and whether you found any of the indicators to be useful. And if you did, which one did you use? Was it the MACD or was it the Bollinger? So thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, ciao!